Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the program. It is now time to turn our attention to African politics, what's going on the continent, this great continent of Africa that we live in and we love so much. Now, you may have heard and you may understand and know that Kenya's election is over, and William Ruto, who has been Kenya's deputy president since 2013, was declared the winner. It was a keenly contested election. At many points throughout the election, it was too close to call, but it took place in East Africa's powerhouse, which is in Kenya. It's not just some ordinary country, it's a very important country in the region. Now, Ruto won the election by a narrow margin. He got 50.49% of the votes, and the closest to him was Raila Odinga, who had 48.85%. Now, Raila Odinga is no stranger to Kenyan politics. This was his fifth attempt at running for president. Now we're going to get to exactly what this means for him, for his tribe, for his region. But the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Wafula Chebukati, declared William Ruto the winner, even as the deputy, electoral chairperson Juliana Cherera, an hour before his declaration, she said, together with three other commissioners, that they would not take ownership of the announced results. And this obviously is quite confusing. We heard about incidents of some violence in the area where Raila Odinga comes from, Kisumu. We saw some violent disturbances in the Electoral Commission counting center. But my question tonight is, what next for Kenya? Um, what will happen in a case where the result is disputed? It's not the first time that an election has been rerun. The 2017 election was rerun. But let me not speculate. And let me introduce my guest, Mohamud Salim Omar. He's a lawyer. He's based in Kenya. And he's my guest to unpack what happens next. Salim, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah. Very nice to see you, my brother. Jazakallah khair for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Luqman. I appreciate.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Now, Salim, right now, Muslims all over the world are celebrating the beginning of a new Islamic year. It's Muharram Sharif, 1444. But in Kenya, everybody has been disturbed or distracted by the election season. Elections in Kenya is no small thing, it's a huge thing. Perhaps before we go into the issues that we want to talk about, paint for us a picture what election season is like in Kenya. It's not just for president, isn't it? There's members of parliament, there's a women's representative. It's a very busy time.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Luqman, for hosting me. I appreciate very much. First of all, elections in Kenya is as a result of the Constitution of Kenya, which is one of the most progressive and advanced constitution after the Constitution of South Africa. So that means that the progressiveness of its nature is because of the aspect of devolution that it has entrenched in the articles. That means devolution imposes what you call different kind of leaders from the gubernatorial position, then the senator of a county, then you go down there to the ward level where we have the members of the county assemblies, So, and also there at the constituency level where there is an MP, member of parliament. And also the aspect of women is also broadly captured, where we have the position of women representatives in Kenya. So that means the moment elections in Kenya is held, it is a contest from the president, governor, senator, women representative, member of parliament, and members of the county assemblies at the county level. That is the devolved function, devolved setups.
MashaAllah.
So
So it's a very
that's why it is highly contested. So for you to vote in Kenya, you'll be given 6 ballots at the same time.
right.
Yes, that's why it is hotly contested. That means there are many individuals who are involved in the process, from the president down to the member of county assembly.
Okay. So, Salim, the reason why I'm very excited to be talking to you is because you're a legal and constitutional expert, at least when it comes to the Kenyan constitution. We have a situation now where William Ruto has won. He went over the 50% threshold, 50.49%. Raila Odinga has got 48.85%. Immediately, there was a dispute. We had 3 commissioners from the Electoral Commission sort of going rogue, if you want to call it that. and then the electoral chairperson of the electoral commission, despite that, announcing the winner. So it was not just a smooth announcement of the winner. We've had days and days of counting, lots of tension, lots of candidates announcing they are the winner and then they're not the winner. And now this. Does this put the election in jeopardy?
First of all, I want to correct you that the electoral commission is called Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission, which
Right,
consists of 7 commissioners: the
right,
chairperson, the vice chairperson, and the rest are the commissioners. So those who disputed the declaration by the chairman, Wafula Chebukati, are 4 of them: the
right.
chairperson and 3 other commissioners. So in this setup, I don't think there is it doesn't have any impact on the legality of the election at this moment, because the
Okay.
constitution vests the power of declaring the results of the president to the chairman of the commission, not the entire commission at all. So the function of the commission is mostly at a pre-election period, where they involved in policy makings, employment of the presiding officers, returning officers at the before the election at that moment. So it doesn't have any aspect of nullity unless it is declared otherwise by the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya.
Mm.
So, and also I wanted to tell you that compared to since 2007 up to now, I don't think there is that tension as the international media is capturing. Yesterday, before the declaration, the
Hmm.
stronghold of Raila Odinga was celebrating, anticipating his win. But the moment he was declared not the winner, there was small protest, which it was not even violent. They were just having running battles with the police, but it was not that violence that the way the international media has been capturing. So that's why it is
Mm.
very peaceful. Even today, we are going on with our works very normally. So that's what I wanted to say on the aspect of the tension. So on the commission, I have told you their role and mandate is mostly pre-election. During the election, if you can give me time, I can explain to you how the tallying starts at the county level, from the ward level to the national tallying center, where the commissioners await the results. If you can give
Yes,
me time, I can
yes,
maybe
please. Yes,
expand.
please.
Thank you. So, first of all, the Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission consists of 7 commissioners, the way I've told you: the chairperson, vice chairperson, and the rest are the commissioners. But it has a secretariat led by the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, and there are many staffs, different departments: HR department, legal department, procurement department. What do you call every? It is like a normal organization. So when elections are conducted, like I told you, it starts at the ward level. At the ward level, there are polling stations. Each polling station is manned by the PO, that is the presiding officer. So the moment the presiding officers get the results, and the courts have declared, the Supreme Court in 2017 decision, which nullified the election, they clearly stipulated that the decision at the polling station, that is at the ward level, is final. That means the commissioners are not allowed to
Okay. Um, it seems that Salim's. Oh, Salim, are you still there? It just froze. There you are. I think yes. Please
yes.
unmute. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, somebody was calling me. So the only what I was saying is the decision, or the results at the polling station is final. That is what the Supreme Court has clearly stipulated in their many decisions that they made before this election. So that means that outcome at the polling station at the ward level in a small village cannot be changed or altered by any person, except through a court order, or at that polling station before it is uploaded to it is sent to the tallying center. So the role of this commission at the National Tallying Center is receiving the results from all the polling stations in Kenya. For example, one constituency in Kenya has an approximate of 103 polling stations. So in the 103 polling stations, the decision at that specific polling station is always final. And if I can tell you that the elections in Kenya are the most legislated elections in the world, so that it can cure any mischief that was seen in 2007, which culminated in a lot of violence and bloodshed. So
Right.
the main reason why it is over legislated is to ensure that there is transparency, clarity, and also it is also verifiable at every level. So the role of the commissioners, the moment they receive from the polling center, it is always valid. For them is just to tally, to make sure they add all the polling stations in the country and have a final tallying. So that's also elections in Kenya are one of the most overfunded elections in the world. Do you know why?
Mm.
Because they're using a lot of technology. For example, there is what's called KIMS-KIT. KIMS-KIT is used in three processes. One, at the process of registration of voters before the election. Secondly, during the election day, what they do is they identify a voter through your thumbprints and other things. Then the third one is transmitting results at the polling stations to the National Tallying Center. That's how they transmit to the tallying center. So the role of the commission and the secretariat at the national level is just to tally what they receive from the devolved level of the ward, like the polling stations. So the
Fantastic.
moment, um,
Yes, go ahead.
yes, that's what I wanted to tell you. That's how the elections from the polling stations, then it goes to the constituency tallying center, that's the man by the returning officer. Then returning officer above him, there is a county returning officer. Then you can have at least a full declaration, for example, of a specific county, because the moment you add all polling stations, then at the constituency level, then finally at the county level, we have 47 counties. Then at least you can say in 37 counties we have this and this and this tallying for specific candidates of
Okay.
the presidential election.
Okay. But Salim, I know you've explained how the system is supposed to work and how the system has been, placed in such a way that we don't have too many disputes. But disputes do happen. Um, News coming out that Raila Odinga and his party, they want to dispute the result. They've got 7 days within which to approach the courts. But why is it that some people feel that he's been robbed again? I mean, it's the fifth time that he was trying to become president, and no president has ever come from the Kisumu region, his region. So my question is two-pronged. Why is there a dispute still after all the legislation you talked about? It's one of the most legislated elections in the world, number one. The second part of the question is, what role does tribalism play in Kenya politics?
Thank you, Mr. Lukman. The beauty of our constitution is that it envisages any electoral dispute in Kenya. That's why it
Right.
provides for a legal remedy, legal avenue, or legal redress, so that it can at least address the grievances of an aggrieved party in every election, not only at the presidential level. It starts at the ward level. If you are a member of the county assembly and you are aggrieved, you go to the lower court. If you are a member of parliament and senator and also the governor, you start from the high court, going then to the court of appeal until it reaches the Supreme Court. So that's the beauty of our constitution. So the main reason why there is this, despite the over-legislated aspect and overfunded aspect of our election, and that the dispute, that is normal in every situation. Even that's why we have these courts. And the moment anyone goes to court, it also what we call broadens our jurisprudence in terms of the law. The main reason why this election has been termed as one of the most transparent elections is because of the 2017 decision by the Supreme Court of Kenya, which nullified the entire election. The
Right.
IBC opted to close all the loopholes, so that there will be no this kind of nullification, because it is also very expensive to do another election in two elections in 1 year. So the disputes are also like the same, because there's aspect of technology which can fail at any time. You get my point? Then there is aspect
Right.
of corruption at any level. Maybe the results at the tallying center and also which has been received at the national tallying is different. All these kind of things. So in any election dispute, let me explain to you in few seconds. There are the course deals with two aspects. One, there's the qualitative analysis of the election, which deals with the compliance with the constitution and the electoral laws by the commission in conducting the election, even at the pre-election level, during the what do you call nomination processes and all these things. So at the qualitative aspect is how do you follow did you follow the electoral laws? That means, was there any violence at the constitutional level, disadvantaging one of the candidates, or was there bribery there, or was there a compromise on the presiding officer at the polling station, or was there, like, there are many electoral offenses which are there. The qualitative aspect, did the voters have they been identified by the KIMS kit, the electronic part? Yeah, all these things is the qualitative analysis which is done always by the court. If the court finds that the qualitative analysis is okay, then they usually upheld the declaration. Then there's the aspect of quantitative analysis, which is the aspect of the number of votes, the tallying. So if there's a broad or unclear discrepancy in terms of the results declared at the polling station and which has been tallied at the National Tallying Center, then it comes to aspect of the quantity or of the votes, the number of votes. So that's the courts look at those two aspects to determine an election. So you have asked me, why is it that it's over legislated that there are still disputes? Because there are human beings who are engaging in all the processes during the election, even before the election. So there might be errors, there might be corruption in any way, but you cannot say that this has the main reason why Raila Odinga is going because of corruption. We don't know about that, because we'll have to clearly do a surgery investigation on his petition, which he will file within 7 days from yesterday, from the date of declaration of the presidential results. Then the aspect of tribalism, you asked me. Yes, like any other African country, the Kenyan election is always a tribal, tribal mightiness, the contest of tribal mightiness. For example, now you can also have a clear indication which tribe supported this candidate and which tribe supported this candidate, which is your stronghold. It is because of the devolved function. For example, if you say Raila was supported in western counties, that means he was supported by Luyas. If you say Ruto was supported in the central counties, he was supported as a block by the Kikuyus. So election plays even at the county level. Tribe, there's also aspect of clan at the county level, so it is always there. And the good thing with this constitution is that it 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 eliminates and extinguishes the aspect of marginalization. Even if you don't get the national government, let's say you are president, you are not a stronghold of an elected president, then the aspect of devolution, where you have a county which is given a lot of money, more than 15% of the national revenue collected every year, with a clear structure of a governor, and all these employment, devolved functions like health, education, agriculture, water, this thing. So the constitution has cleared this aspect of marginalization by making sure that there is devolution of funds to the county level, or the counties equally. Then there is devolution of functions like service to the people at the ground level. So tribe always plays a very major role in every election, mostly in Africa.
That is so true, Salim. That is very true. But now, here's my final question to you, Salim. William Ruto, he's the next president. Barring whatever happens in court, if it gets to the Supreme Court, barring all of those machinations, he's probably going to be the next president of Kenya. He was the deputy president since 2013. He was not endorsed by outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta. This is a bit of a political question, right? Uhuru Kenyatta actually endorsed the loser, Raila Odinga, before the elections, right? So here we have a situation where, Ruto is the president of Kenya. What kind of a president is he going to be? How do you see his presidency? Do you think he's going to be able to unite all Kenyans? Raila a very big margin. He lost by a very small margin.
I also keep on reiterating the beauty of our constitution. Whoever supports you, even if it is the government the whole government, and the people decide that it is not you, then that is it. The president doesn't have any extra role in imposing any person on the electorate. He can maybe suggest, maybe this is my candidate, support him. If he loses, the president doesn't have any option but to hand over power as per the constitution. That's why we have a transition team making sure that the president elect, the moment the judicial process is done, they hand over these instruments of power to the next president. For your question about the presidency of Dr. William Samoei Ruto, who is the president elect at the moment, until declared otherwise by the Supreme Court of Kenya, he presented to the Kenyan people a very comprehensive and a very comprehensive and I want to use a specific word, but I'm refraining myself. A very comprehensive manifesto to the Kenyan people, especially dwelling on the aspect of the model of economy that he wants to create in Kenya, like bottom-up economy, like empowering the people at the lower level of our economy so that they can join us. They can come to the middle income level and also maybe improve from there. So his manifesto is very clear. The moment he implements his manifesto, then that means he will achieve a lot, because there's a lot of problem. The mess that it was created by the previous regime, which is also included, but I don't know how it will work. There's a lot of mess. Also, the COVID-19 aspect came in. There are a lot of things. Then the Ukraine-Russia war, it clearly affected the economy of our country. Then there's this debt level in Kenya. It was uncontrollable for the last 10 years. So for a president like him, if he opts to implement his manifesto, it will take him a minimum of 2 or 3 years to make sure that we recover from where we are now to at least to a place where we can start afresh, maybe zero, from negative to zero. So it only depends. When it comes to personality, people have questioned his personality in terms of his integrity because of what has been happening even before. But all politicians, we believe, are the same. So it only depends on his team, the team that he will create in terms of the cabinet positions and many other positions in the government, so that they can at least make sure that he implements his manifesto in full. Otherwise, we will just, after 1 year, maybe we can come and assess his implementation of the manifesto. But as now, it's only Allahu A'lam.
Allahu A'lam. I think on that note, it's a good idea to end it there. Salim Omar, thank you very much. I think we've learned a lot about Kenyan politics, Kenyan constitutional practices, and of course, Kenyan situation on the ground. We really want to thank you. Jazakallah khair, and give my salams to Muhammad Yusuf, and thank you to Muhammad for, making you available for us tonight, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Luqman. Thank you for hosting me. I really appreciate. And assalamu alaikum to all the listeners. I love you for the sake of Allah.
أحبك الذي أحببتنا لي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That's Brother Salim Omar there talking to us from Kenya. Of course, unpacking that very important election that took place on the, in the East African giant, or at least the giant economy of East Africa, which is Kenya. Still a lot of high stakes elections on the African continent to watch out for. We have Angola's election coming up soon. Lesotho is going to have an election, Nigeria next year, followed by Zimbabwe. So these are all high stakes elections taking place on the African continent. And of course, we will be watching them very closely. Bringing our time to 80 minutes after 8. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we speak to Qadi Ziad Patel. He's still in Kenya, but he's in Mombasa this time. He's not there for no politics. He's there for Islamic finance. Find out when we speak to him in a few minutes. Stay tuned.